Coming up on Mountain News this morning, yesterday's State of the Commonwealth address acknowledged Kentucky's accomplishments from 2024. And the Perry County Sheriff's Office relocated to a place it says is more accommodating for everyone.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Madison Carmouche. We're at that 5:30 mark this Thursday morning, and we're going to go ahead and check in with meteorologist Megan Desmalt for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it's still cold out there. It's still snowy out there. Those things I can confirm.
I can pretty much confirm that you are correct, and that's the forecast. You just listen to Madison this morning. She has it on lock. Here's what you can expect today. Cold, and there's still snow on the ground. There you go. There's that cold weather advisory we have this morning. Now, that is for all the counties lit up in that light cyan color, and it is until 10 a.m. today. So that's what you can expect as you're going through the day. And here are those temperatures, what those feels like on the chilly side of things. We're looking at 4-degree feels like in Wise, 5-degree feels like in Logan, and as you're heading towards Moorhead, 12 degrees. So it's definitely feeling quite chilly today. Now, here's what you can expect as you're going into the afternoon. The good news is, well, you can see a little bit of the sun as you're heading into the afternoon, but the bad news is those temperatures are still quite chilly. We're looking in the upper 20s today, seeing some 30s as you're heading towards Harlan, Middlesboro, and right at freezing in Jacksboro today. Now, here's satellite and radar. We do have just a little bit of snow this morning, but it'll continue to move through our areas. Those clouds are also dissipating this morning. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. On day 2 of the 2025 legislative session, Governor Andy Beshear addressed lawmakers giving his State of the Commonwealth address. The governor focused on the state's economic growth and issues he wants to tackle in his next 3 years in office. Jessica Umbro is in Frankfort with the details.
This year's State of the Commonwealth address served as a recap for what Governor Andy Beshear says were the high points of 2024, as well as an opportunity to set forth some of his goals for his next 3 years in office.
The Governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Governor Andy Beshear touted a message he's repeated often.
We're not looking at the same Kentucky anymore.
The governor cited millions of dollars of investment in the state's private sector, expansion of high-speed internet, and a growing job market with long-term growth in mind.
While we're creating these jobs, we must continue to ensure that our workforce is strong and is ready for the future.
The governor also reflected on some of his and his party's goals, one of which being to establish the state's medical cannabis program, which became legal on January 1st of this year.
Because we all work together, our people will be able to secure safe, regulated medical cannabis right here in Kentucky this year.
And he also reflected on the defeat of Kentucky's Amendment 2 on the 2024 ballot, an amendment that would have allowed for the allocation of public funds to private schools.
The message was clear that public dollars are for public schools.
And for the next 3 years, Governor Beshear said he plans to continue to push for universal pre-K, expanded access to health care, and strengthening the state's infrastructure.
God bless our Commonwealth of Kentucky. God bless the United States of America. Good night.
Typically, we would see a rebuttal after the State of the Commonwealth address from the other party. So in this case, the Republican Party. And there was one scheduled. It would have been with Senate President Robert Stivers and Speaker of the House David Osborne. It was canceled in the hours just before the address, citing concerns due to safety of the weather and road conditions for staff working late. In Frankfort, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.
We did hear from Andy Westberry, the communications director for the Republican Party of Kentucky, who said in part, quote, "This evening, Andy Beshear delivered the same tired speech he has been giving for the past 5 years. His attempt to rebrand Kentucky as his new Kentucky home is both comical and misleading and a continuation of the same old Beshear lies," end quote. Kentucky lawmakers are advancing a bill that could result in more take-home money for most workers in the state next year. The individual income tax rate could be lowered to 3.5% from 4% if House Bill 1 passes the General Assembly this year. It easily passed the House Budget Committee yesterday. Some economic groups voiced concerns that Kentucky will face challenges if there are permanent tax cuts.
Before these cuts began, the income tax generated 40% of general fund revenue, and with this cut, it will have been reduced by 30%.
Governor Andy Beshear expressed concerns over doing away with the state income tax, but indicated he would support this cut. We are also looking into some other bills lawmakers have filed. One of them is House Bill 55. The goal is to make parents and guardians liable for firearms crimes committed by children in their care. Those adults would be responsible for any damages caused by negligence or willful misconduct with the firearm. Another bill filed in the House would overturn Governor Andy Beshear's executive order banning conversion therapy in the Commonwealth. Conversion therapy aims to change a person's sexual orientation or gender identity through counseling. House Bill 64 would invalidate that order, which does not allow state and federal funds to be used for the practice. Also filed in the House, House Bill 26 looks to make tips and overtime pay exempt from state taxes. The bill also looks to define tips and overtime compensation. It would also include tips and overtime compensation on employee withholding statements and allow the Department of Revenue to report on the exclusions. The Senate introduced a bill, and it is Senate Bill 126. It would limit the governor's ability to pardon or commute sentences. This bill was also filed last year but did not go anywhere. Right now it is also in committee. Former President Jimmy Carter will be laid to rest today. The observance honoring the former president, who died last month at the age of 100, will culminate with a state funeral at the National Cathedral, which you can see live on WYMT, and then a hometown funeral in Plains, Georgia, where he will be buried. President-elect Trump and his wife Melania were among the many paying respects yesterday at the Capitol. We continue to follow a story out of Laurel County, where a London police officer is accused of shooting and killing a man. The CAD file, or computer-aided dispatch file, from the shooting lists the address as 489 Van Zant. It says police were serving a warrant. Court records show that the warrant was connected to an investigation into stolen lawn equipment. Here is some dispatch audio we obtained from the case.
This is London PD. 489 Van Zant Road, 489 Van Zant Road. Units on scene can serve search warrant. Call on the radio for assistance. Shots fired.
Van Zant Road, stand by in the area. Shots fired.
They have EMS going for the perpetrator who's been hit.
The dispatch audio we just played also shows police were attempting to serve a warrant at 489 Van Zant, just down the road from where Doug Harless was shot. We also learned about some evidence seized from the scene, a light bulb security camera believed to capture interactions between Harless and the officers on his porch, a Nokia phone connected to the security camera, and a Taurus 9mm handgun holster and 5 spent shell casings. In Harlan County, State Police are asking for help finding a stolen truck. Here is a picture of the truck. Troopers say it was stolen from Cumberland Mine Service in the Tots community. Troopers say the suspect is believed to have ridden a bicycle onto the property from US 119 and stole the truck. If you have any information about the case, contact Harlan KSP Post at 606-573-3131. New this morning, a fire destroyed a home and killed several pets in the Fallsburg area of Lawrence County. According to Fallsburg Volunteer Fire Department Chief Chris Job, the fire was reported just before 4:15 p.m. yesterday along Cub Lane, which is off US 23 near the 25-mile marker. Job said the double-wide mobile home was engulfed when crews arrived. Officials say no one was taken to the hospital. A cause for the fire is unknown at this time. The American Red Cross is assisting the family with shelter and immediate needs. The Public Service commissioned a ruling in a case involving missing funds and water shutoffs for some people in Rockcastle County. In November, about 65 Livingston residents spent days without water because of a dispute between the Wood Creek Water District and the city over the unpaid bills. The residents paid their bills, but it was not making it to their water provider. After the PSC filed a formal inquiry, they found the debt is up to $90,000 and has been accruing since 2006. PCS ruled for Wood Creek to continue serving the city as long as the bill continues to be paid. In Mingo County, West Virginia, officials with the Public Service District have reported issues with water treatment. Officials posted on social media this week that they were unable to treat water due to bad weather and conditions of the Tug River. Officials say as a result, water was not being pumped to customers. Once it is restored, they say a boil water advisory will be put in place. The Perry County Sheriff's Department is in a new location. They are now located on East Main Street near downtown Hazard in an old bank building. Officials say the new location allows easier access for people who may be older or with a disability. Sheriff Joe Engel worked with Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander to get the upgrade.
People can come through. If you don't want to leave your vehicle, you can drive like going through a bank. It's an old bank, so you can stay right in your vehicle, pay your property tax without even leaving your vehicle. And it's all ground level, handicap accessible. You don't have to go any steps.
Engel says the funding for the building was provided by the fiscal court. The Appalachian Wireless Arena in Pikeville is offering tickets to the gun show. The arena is welcoming the RK Gun Show back to Pikeville next month, expecting a floor full of vendor focused on firearms, military gear, outdoor equipment, and more. Arena representatives say the two-day event is ready to offer a little something for most gun and outdoor needs.
If you're a hunting enthusiast, if you're looking to stock up on ammo and guns, this is the time to do it. RK Gun Shows. Come out and check out all the inventory, all the vendors, and see what it's all about.
The event opens its doors February 22nd at 9 a.m. You can find tickets online, and there is a link to those on our website. Just ahead, Sony is saving this checkpoint as it unveils prototype tech to advance the future of gaming.
Snow is still on the ground and more snow is to come. I'll have more up next.